Welcome to my channel and welcome to my favorite kind of video. Today we will talk about my September, and I would say that September was quite nice. Weather was nice, so we were able to go walking to visit some interesting places, and I tried to show them to you in my Saturday vlogs. And also, I managed to color some not so bad pictures. I consider that my biggest success of September is my finish in Manuel de Bonheur, where I finally completed this huge spread. I started this fruit and flower market in August, and it took me 8 hours approximately, but I colored it during 2 months, mostly because I enjoyed each and every moment of it. On this page we have so many interesting details. Each animal, each bird, each smallest element, all fruits, flowers, vegetables, they are drawn in such realistic way that it's a very easy work to color them, and it's a pleasure. The only thing I had to do is to plan my colors, how to attract more attention to them, sellers probably, and how to create the well-balanced color composition in the whole. And I'm quite happy that during this coloring I didn't have any problems, apart from my first attempt to color balloons, where I am not 100% happy, but all other elements were quite nice to do. I am slightly disappointed that part of the picture is hidden because of the binding, but still I don't think that it ruined the whole page. Now let me show you closer the left side, where definitely the most important element and the most interesting thing to color was this dog cellar, and I also enjoyed coloring onions. And on the right I have my first attempt of coloring balloons. They are far from perfect, but at least I have noticed for myself some basic rules how I have to do them, and it's like a starting point where I can start to improve myself. And I enjoyed coloring all these flowers, baskets. I love that hydrangea in the central part, slightly hidden behind the mouse. And it was fun to select colors for all dresses, for the fur, even if I wasn't 100% sure which animals we have here, like this one. But the most important was that still I had a lot of fun coloring this. So even if it was a long process, I enjoyed it very much. And to have some small projects a part of this big one in Kanoko Egusa books. I also did a couple of miniatures in a Rhapsody in the Forest. I wanted to color on the toned paper. I love these pictures which are printed on slightly yellowish paper, which we have in Japanese edition of Rhapsody. And I did this magical sand clocks. I think that they have counted time of the childhood or something like this. And this fall picture with very cute raccoon. I love that in a very short amount of time you can do finished project. I think that maybe later I will finish all the remaining elements, but for now I need to select for myself another huge project from Kanoko books, because I always have one of her pictures in work, like work in progress. Another picture which I was coloring in the very beginning of September was in Fairy Tales by Selena. This time I selected Puss in Boots. And usually I prefer to color on this paper with polychromasis, but here I used mix of Prismacolors and polychromasis. Color along video is available on my channel. My favorite part here is Puss, of course. I enjoyed coloring his fur. But the whole picture is not so bad. I even didn't struggle a lot with this paper. I think that for now I am totally got used to the paper in Selena's books. And plus one finished project in this book where I have already did a lot of pictures. Next, I decided that I have to switch from regular pencils to other mediums because during the whole summer and probably the whole spring I mostly colored with regular pencils, switching between Prismacolors and polychromasis, but this time I decided that I want to do something with Inktense. For a long time I wanted to do this portrait of Anne Boleyn. I have already colored her daughter Elizabeth in this book, and this time I decided to color Anne. I love her portrait here, and color choice also was quite easy because of the famous song Green Sleeves. So she has this green dress created with various Inktense and with a lot of golden elements added with golden Posca. But my huge problem was background. First I did it using Neocolors and Inktense, but I totally hated all those swirls which didn't represent anything. I would much more prefer simple bricks or something suitable for the houses, for the palaces of the Tudor time. So in the end I did these vertical stripes with brown acrylic paint, and at least now my Anne stands up behind the dark background and she is not lost. And I have mostly hidden all those strange swirls. I also added N signs on the windows, the letter B as Boleyn, and the Tudor rose, and I tried to draw something like stained glass windows. Anyway, I'm happy how Anne looks, and it's okay for now. Far from perfect, but still I'm glad that I did something in Tally Ho. Another big surprise for me was that I managed to color 3 pictures in Botanical book by Maria Trolle, artist which is far from my favorites. I always struggle with her pictures. I always manage to do something wrong, to make some not wise color choice or to select a wrong medium for the background. But this time I was much more happy with my results. My only problem was that somehow my camera has difficulties to catch all color nuances, all hues of colors when I color in this book. So my first finished picture here is this beautiful composition of poppies, lupins and aquilegia flowers. I was asked to color poppies, but probably my favorite parts are lupin flowers. It's because I love them in real life. I love their variety of lilac, violet, magenta and blue colors, and I like their shape. I think that composition, this bouquet here, it's really very beautiful, very nicely drawn by Maria with this very tender and elegant aquilegia flowers. So I really tried not to mess up with this beautiful picture, and I hope that you were able to find something helpful in 3 parts color along which I created for this page. And then after several days, after I started to feel arriving of fall season, I decided to do another page here, and it's somewhere, just have to find it. it's here. This time I decided to try doing a very simple background. Usually I do such kind of plain one color background in Sagar och Zagner book by Emily Lindehall. So I thought that I want to try maybe this simple background will suit these botanical compositions. I selected this vintage blue acrylic paint by Ukrainian manufacturer, and it helped me to create a very opaque matte background. So when I did this composition using Arteza pencils, there is nice contrast between a matte background and a very shiny surface colored by pencils. I deliberately tried to make this snail as a focal point. I enjoyed coloring these berries. I'm still not sure in my decision to add a little bit of soft pastel on top of the blue acrylic background, but at least I experimented a little bit how these mediums, acrylic and soft pastels, work together. I would say that much more I prefer picture on the right. I think that composition here is more well balanced. Here we have quite empty upper part and more busy lower part of the page, but here everything is very beautifully combined, and I do enjoy coloring these autumn leaves. For them I used my set of Derwent drawings. You know that they have beautiful muted colors and a lot of beautiful orange and yellow ochre colors, very nice for autumn leaves. And I also added a little bit of blue to make some connection between two parts. And my mouse is also quite visible and not so lost on this page. So I am quite happy how I managed to do this page. Maybe one day I will discover for myself how to color pictures in Maria Trolle books properly. But anyway, let's move forward. And another book where I usually have difficulties with coloring is William's Son, but in September this book loved me, so I managed to do 2 pages and I didn't have any problems with both of them. First I did this magical deer or magical stag. You know that I am not very good with English names of animals, but anyway, I wanted to make a very light fur. I have already colored deer with brown fur in Zemlya Snova by Tomic, so this time I thought that a very pale light grey and light beige fur will match nicely golden antlers. Of course, I had some difficulties here because when I started to color a background using blue and violet colors, I totally lost that behind the deer we have actually big bush and all these flowers, they are on the bush. I managed to color the whole bottom part of the background and only then I noticed this top part of the bush. So I had to cover it. I decided that I totally don't need bush. Anyway, it didn't ruin my picture at all. I am glad that at least here I managed to do something unusual like blue leaves and this green-blue background. I also love my old trees here. So it was long, obviously, because it has a lot of details, but I am quite happy with the result. Maybe let me show you closer the gnome who is holding golden egg and the nest. And next week when I was working, I saw a very beautiful tree. It has unusual color of the bark. Instead of traditional brown and gray colors. It has a very light gray, almost silver. I don't know the name of the tree in English, but I decided that I want to try and to do this kind of bark somewhere on the tree in my books. And I realized that I do have this perfect picture with a tree. Of course, inspiration for the houses were houses in Germany, which I do love a lot, this style of architecture. And I wanted to create the fall composition, so that's why for all the leaves I used yellow and orange colors. But to finish it, I need some idea behind the page. The whole composition was a little bit strange. It's quite busy here and a little bit empty in the right bottom corner. So when I was thinking how to finish this, I imagined for myself that as here we have this very tiny wizard. I hope that now you are able to see him, and he is reading some spell to the tree. I decided that maybe it's a spell which will convert fall tree into spring tree. So that's why I draw branches around the head of the tree with green color, and I also added tiny white flowers on them. Then I added this empty background with these swirls in May green and yellow colors to create this impression of the casting spells. And in such way, by inventing some story behind the picture, I managed to finish it. I am so happy that I did 2 pages in wind and sun and without huge problems. I can't express my happiness honestly. Another very happy moment was that I continued to color in a romantic country. You probably know how long story we have with this book, that it was abandoned by me for 4 years, and finally I started to do pages in it. In September I did 2 of them. For both of them I first did neon color background for the walls and for the floor for the floor for the floor, and then I worked on all the details with Prismacolors. I deliberately wanted to make this picture relatively dark, like we have old vintage library room and also craft room, where the only sources of the light are fire inside the fireplace, candles on the fireplace shelf, and also here on the table. So I tried to show the sources of the light, and I added 2 bright color accents, this blanket and this carpet, to attract attention to the cute cats. It was long coloring because it has so many details, and I try to limit myself and not to use so many colors, but I am very pleased with the result. On the next picture I was a little bit more adventurous with colors, so I did these pink walls. I thought that I have already did so many traditional houses with brown or grey walls that now in this magical country I can experiment a lot, especially when I color French patisserie. So again I did walls using neon colors, and then I added color accents and all the details using Prismacolors. Also, white Posca was very helpful to create this board, this chalkboard, and to color all the sweets was quite fun. I'm so happy that I finally started to color this book, that I think that I start to get used to the style of Airy, and very slowly I start to get used to the paper, even if I still consider this paper a little bit strange. In September, I added to my collection a lot of beautiful new books, and one of them was a book by Ravin Phelan, Spirit Animals. Flip through and speed coloring videos about my first two finished pictures, of course, are on my channel. And here I played with watercolors. I mixed regular watercolors, pearlescent watercolors, metal colors, so now everything is very shiny. And I do love this contrast between more matte surface created by Inktense pencils and shiny background with these magical circles. It's called Raven Magic. I always love to color ravens. I always enjoy this small addition of color accents, a little bit of green, violet or blue as reflections on the black feathers. So it was my instant first choice in this book. And the second was totally autumn picture. I'm not good at coloring trees. I don't know how to color them in watercolors or in pencils when we have big areas of the leaves. But here I decided to play on the contrast of colors, all those orange, golden and red colors of the autumn, and quite a moderate color scheme for the feathers of the goshawk. And I think that these golden circles also created some nice contrast. For the feathers I used artisan and polychromasis and watercolors for the background. It was quite nice to work a little bit with watercolors. And of course, how can I not to color in the books by Teresa Kudrich? In Main Street, I have colored bakery. It was interesting to try and to invent various color combos, various combinations of Prismacolors for different types of bread. I hope that you can see that some of them are more yellowish, some are more brown, some are more beige. I tried to show that they have a variety of breads in the bakery. And of course it was fun to color all the cakes, cupcakes and other sweets. In Country Garden, I have colored one of my favorite pages. In the very beginning, I have noticed for myself this page with the scarecrow, and I also totally in love with the composition of this page. I love this direction of the flower beds, and I tried to work hard by inventing various color combos of the green to make some dark green, cold green, yellow green colors to make more interesting the whole area of the plants. I tried to change some shapes of the flowers where I wasn't 100% happy with them. So the whole color along video in 4 parts is on my channel, so if you also love this page, you can watch that color along. And finally, in Country Charm, I did project which was quite long for me. I enjoyed each and every moment of it, but still it wasn't my easiest coloring. And even now I can't find it. Sorry guys, it has to be somewhere there. I forget to put this final bookmark. It's strange. Oh, here it is. So here is my another fall project, and probably it was the first one where I started to use red and orange colors for the leaves, so it was official start of my own fall season. And I think that it was long because for each area of the hills, each area of the grass, all the trees and bushes, I tried to combine various colors of yellow, ochre, green, with addition of brown colors to create this perspective from the foreground to the hills which are far from us. I tried to add more yellow colors to show that it's already beginning of the fall season. I tried to make this contrast between a very light stone which I did on the windmill and relatively intense colors of the greenery around. Here we have a very cute sheep and this very bright blue t-shirts helped my uh, bicycles not to be lost on this very detailed picture. So it was long, but I enjoyed it, and personally I have learned, I got some very helpful experience from doing this page. So it was my September. I consider it quite successful. In September, I got amazing additions to my coloring book collection. These wonderful gifts. I got book by Thomas Kincaid. I got this beautiful and huge book. It's a collection of fantasy designs by Jade Summer, and it's officially the thickest book in my collection. And two books by Selena Fennec and these spirit animals. So my collection was grown considerably. They all are amazing, and I hope that in October I will manage to find time and some courage to start one of these books, or maybe two of them. We will see. And one more announcement for this video. You know how grateful I am to all my patrons and supporters who give me huge help in maintaining this channel and in continuing doing these videos. But many people simply don't like Patreon platform which I currently use, and quite often they ask me if there are any other ways to support my channel. And finally, YouTube has allowed sponsorship in my country, so if you want to support my channel, there will be two tiers, and to say thank you, to give you something in reward for supporting my channel, you will have access to special color along videos where I comment all my coloring step by step from first to the last minute. So I hope that such narrated color along videos will be helpful for you. And once again, huge thanks to everyone who supported my channel. It means a lot for me.